On the morning of the 26th of December of 2004, an earthquake with a magnitude of 9.15 hit Indonesia.
This earthquake causes tsunami that devastates Indonesia and all the countries which goes to the Indian Ocean.
The earthquake and tsunami were caused by the subduction of the Indian plate under the Burman plate. About 1,600 kilometers of surface ruptured 15 meters under the sea, about 100 miles north of the island of Simiaule, at a depth of 30 kilometers under the sea level. This sudden rupture rising of land caused great masses of water to be displaced. These masses are seen as waves in the surface of the water. The waves reached a height of 30 meters. A very important factor that strengthened the tsunami was the recession of the waters, which increased the waves' force. As you can see here, there is no more water in the beach because it has all gone into the waves. The generation of tsunami occurs with the subduction of plates. When one plate goes under the other and a fault occurs, when this fault is released, it causes energy to be transmitted into the water. And this energy is seen as waves in the surface. When these waves hit land, it can be deadly.
Good morning, Mr. Balan. They told me you were a survivor of the tsunami of 2004 in Indonesia. Could you tell us the story?
Yes. It was a typical Sunday morning. It was Boxing Day holiday, and our plans were to stay home all morning. And I was having a teacup that morning, and it suddenly started shaking frenetically. And immediately it stopped, and it was very strange. And then the sea seemed to explode. There was a wave that was so high that it went over a coconut tree that was in the nearby beach. Um, we got so nervous that I took my wife and ran away to a hill that was very close to the jungle. There we spent the night with other persons, in which there was a group of youths which helped us get food and water. Uh, they found a creek which came from the mountains and was drinking water that was okay to drink. And then I led a group of people into the jungle, into a destroyed complex of the government in which they grew rice. We were lucky to have food and drink to have that night. The next morning we woke up, we walked along the coast of the beach, or the new beach because of the floodings, and we got to an improvised port or harbor, and there was a guide that told us that there was a refugee camp about 20 miles from there, and that there would be a boat coming on next day. We waited till next day, and the boat came. We got on the boat, but then we had to cross a lagoon which was full with crocodiles and with snakes. But the crocodiles were so busy eating dead people that died in the tsunami that they really didn't pay attention to us. So we were lucky. We crossed the lagoon safely, but then we had to get off the boat and walk another 15 miles. We walked the 15 miles, but we didn't get to the refugee camp that day. We established the camp, we slept, and the next morning, even though everyone was tired, we put all our efforts to try and get to camp, and we did. And once we got there, it was such a sense of relief, and it was a happiness, and this will be an experience that I will never forget.
Wow, it seemed like you had a rough time. It's it's great that you survived. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Becky, you were a survivor to the 2004 tsunami. Would you tell us your story?
Of course. In 2004, I was a really good tennis player, and I was selected on this huge and really important big tournament. This tournament was on China. There will be playing the best tennis players of the whole wide world. And I was selected, and I was very proud of myself. So I started to practice more and more and more. So my coaches told me that when I arrived to the tournament on China, there will be no communication. But I didn't worry too much because my family will arrive the next day to cheer me up and support me. So I didn't worry. But when I arrived at the airport of China, I was walking with my headphones of the iPod, so I didn't hear things. But then on a TV, I saw very damaged house and a place where tsunami was crashed. So I was really amazed, and I put out my headphones and hear that the tsunami was on my country and Indonesia. But I was really worried. I didn't know what to do, how to react, because I didn't know if my family was okay, or my house, or my things were okay. So I started to worry. I couldn't sleep that night. So the next morning, a man came to me and told me my family was okay, and I played the tournament and won. So I was really proud of myself too.
Oh, so you participated in a tournament and won, even though you had the stress of not knowing whether your family was okay or not.
Like I told you, the next morning, a man came to me and said that my family was okay, that they were one of the few families that survive.
Well, thank you very much, Becky, for your time.
Thank you too.